the Dream 100 Show. The epicenter of influence, collaboration, and exponential growth. You're about to discover the power of relationships. Dream 100 relationships. And you're one relationship away from a totally different business and life. This is your host, Michael Tesner.
So what do I like to execute? What do I like to do when things are a little bit slower? In today's episode of the Dream 100 Show, I wanted to answer a question from one of our listeners. They said, well, now that the high of the new year has kind of worn off, things are a little bit slower. Are there certain strategies, certain tactics that you teach or that you would share with me that I can execute? So the good news is when things are a little bit slower, regardless of the type of business that you're in, there's always strategies to deploy. Now, the only asterisk, the only thing that you'll have to keep in mind is that based on seasonality, some of these strategies might need to be delayed a little bit. Example, I'm in Buffalo, New York. The weather is absolutely terrible outside, so I would not be advertising as a landscaper, even though people are going to start thinking about it. You really can't conceptually think about landscaping or lawn projects when there's 2 feet of snow on the ground and it's 0 degrees or colder. It just is very, very difficult for people to wrap their mind around. Now, you could slightly advertise, but you're not going to be executing the 3 things that I'm going to share with you. So those are the things to keep in mind, is that if you have extreme seasonality, you're only going to deploy one of these 3 strategies right now. If you don't have extreme seasonality, then you can deploy all 3. So the first one is a reactivation campaign, and this works for essentially any business. I was thinking a little bit earlier trying to figure out, is there a business that this may potentially not work for? And the only one that I thought of would be funeral homes. So the whole point of a reactivation campaign is basically to send one of those "we miss you" type messages. I know that you were looking at doing XYZ with us at some point. I know that you were looking at X, and if it was a dentist, I know you were looking at teeth whitening at some point. But I think a funeral home might be a little bit challenging. I know you were looking at caskets at some point like that. I don't think would go over overly well if I'm being honest with you. So this reactivation campaign consists of 4 parts. And this is what I love about it. It's going to clean up your database. So you might tell me you've got all these leads, all these potential people that are interested, but when you start to deploy these messages, all of a sudden, it's not that you start to hear crickets, but rather you're going to hear a lot of people that say, I'm not interested anymore, don't email me again, and I'm fine with that. Like, I want my email database, my database in general, to be cleaned up. So the 4 parts are an email, a text message, a ringless voicemail, and a piece of direct mail. And I'm actually going to start with the direct mail piece because we haven't been doing this with full-blown reactivation campaigns. So in traditional Dream 100 fashion, we're using high-quality gifts to get attention, to thank people for taking actions. Like, we're putting the gifts out there. With a reactivation, what I'm looking for you to do is to shake some revenue loose. Is there somebody that was interested that they haven't written back to you in quite a while? They bought something, it's been a while since they've reordered. Whatever that database piece is, you want to collect everything. Emails, text messages, phone numbers, addresses, whatever you've got, you want to collect it all. And ideally, if you maybe just have their name and their email, you can typically find a lot of these addresses. And I want the direct mail piece to be something different and unique. You want to get their attention? You're going to send it in not just a standard white envelope. You're going to change the color. You're going to spray it with cologne or perfume. You're going to do some lumpy mail. So you might have something included where it's an odd shape because it then will get opened. But the letter is very, very simple. You're just customizing it based on your niche, your business. In my case, with marketing services, dear first name, I know that you are looking at having us help you with your marketing at one point. We're going through and we're cleaning up our list right now. Should we close your file? Please feel free to call us at this number, text us at this number, email us, or write us. And so, well, Michael, that's a little direct. Well, the whole point of this is to be direct. And one of my favorite lines is closing your file. Should we close your file? People don't like their file closed. When they know that it's kind of a definitive and almost as if you're kicking them to the curb, often people start to get a little bit feisty in a good way or a bad way. But I often see a lot of responses from that message. The email message could be very similar. The text message would be similar. The ringless voicemail message would not say exactly that. It would be like this. Hi, this is Michael from No Joke Marketing. I know that you were looking at having us help you with your digital marketing at one point. We're going through and we're kind of cleaning up our database right now. I didn't know if I should close out your file or if I should keep it open. I'm going to send you a text message and an email as well. Just reply back if you want us to keep your file open, if you had any other questions. Have a great rest of your day. So it's a little more playful on the phone. The text, you can be a little bit more playful. But the whole point is you're trying to get people to make a decision. Are you staying and you're potentially doing something with us or not? Yes or no? As one of my mentors, Garrett White, says, we don't live in the land of maybe. It's yes or no. But when you're cleaning up your database, what also ends up happening with this, in a good way, is you're going to get some people that say, tell me more. It's been a while since we've spoken. I can't tell you the last time that I've gotten a letter, or definitely not a direct mail piece, anything like this. And I can tell you that I have looked at hundreds and hundreds of different types of businesses, services, from home services to business, to like everything. I never get any of these messages. The more follow-up, the longer the follow-up, that's the whole point of the Dream 100. You're playing the long game. That's the first thing that I would do when things get a little bit softer or slower. Number two, I want you to do a referral campaign. But what I want you to do with a referral campaign, and this can go to your entire database, it can go to all your customers. And so, Michael, I don't have something that really can be referred. I have a restaurant. Why not? Why couldn't you do a referral campaign and give a voucher that they can give away to their friends and family that's special to them and that they're getting credit? What I love to do with referral campaigns is I love to gamify it. I like to gamify it so that you can actually show the results of how many people are referring you. This is often done in the land of affiliate marketing, referral marketing, where people are selling products and courses and you're trying to help someone else generate a bunch of revenue and then you get some money. And often like the top 5 affiliates will get a big prize. Cars, cruises, all that fun stuff. Why couldn't you do this for your business? The chances are pretty high that your customers, the people in your database, have friends and family that are looking for something similar. Incentivize them in a unique way, and that's the secret sauce. Don't just say anyone that you refer that buys will give you $100. That's not ideal. And so, well, Michael, everyone wants $100. Why don't you find something that actually takes a little bit of effort, that's more personalized, more fun, something that I'm going to talk about on social media. I'm not going to go on social media and say, thank you to XYZ company for giving me $100. But I might go on, I'll give you a perfect example. We got permanent lights installed in our house and I referred someone. Number one, it was $250, which is a nice prize. But B, I still haven't even gotten the money, so that's another issue. But even when I get the money, I'm not going to go on social media and talk about that. I would rather have them given me a night out, couple of tickets to a Buffalo Bandits game, like something that's different that I'm going to want to talk about. You want people talking about you and your business in a positive light. You want to separate yourself from the pack. That's the whole guerrilla marketing approach. Time, energy, imagination, outside the box ideas to produce better results. You got to do things a little bit differently. So execute to your database, and you can do the same thing: an email, a ringless voicemail. You can do a letter and a text. Don't just do one. And then if you have a physical location, incentivize your team whoever gets the most referrals. Think about that. If you're combining all these marketing mediums and you're hitting people up over a very short time span, imagine the potential amount of referrals that you could get. Could be astronomical, could be game changing. Number 3, the one that you can do regardless of the seasonality, is a review campaign. But what ends up happening with these review campaigns is that they're just, similarly to the referral campaigns, they're too generic. Hey, would you be so kind to leave us a 5-star review? That doesn't get me, I'm not excited about that. Now, my chiropractor office talks about leave us a review. They don't say 5-star, so they aren't breaking terms of service. And show us that you did it, and we will give you a free adjustment. That's not a bad incentive. So the final one that doesn't matter from a seasonality standpoint is getting as many Google 5-star reviews as you possibly can. And I like to do everything above and beyond with these strategies. I want an email, I want the ringless voicemail, I want the text message, and I want the direct mail piece. I want all of these things going out within a couple of days, a week on the high side. And all that you're doing is asking for a review. Now, you've got to be careful on how you're asking. You can't say, we would appreciate your Google 5-star review. You also can't offer to give them something in return. You've got to be very careful on that. But you can put them in a drawing to win something fun. Well, every review that we see during the course of the week, we're going to give a prize that'll be announced on Facebook, for example. But when was the last time that a vendor that you've worked with sent you an email, a text message, a ringless voicemail, and a letter asking for a review? It just, no one does it. It just does not happen. So this is the stuff that's going to separate your business from the pack. This is the stuff that'll put you in another league of its own. And we love to do the lumpy mail when we're asking for 5-star reviews, and maybe put a little hand in there, for example, like one of those little flapper things. Like you put something in that makes it lumpy mail, and yes, it's a little more expensive, but I could argue that a Google 5-star review, ideally they leave a 5-star review, it's worth its weight in gold. It's worth its weight in gold. The more reviews, the more testimonials, the more positive feedback you have about your business, the better. Now, to take it to another level, you can have your team. You can incentivize them to have people mention their name. Like there's a lot of home service businesses that I'll see. Frank came out to my house and he was amazing. Well, Frank gets $50, for example, if someone leaves a review and mentions his name. So now you're leveraging your frontline team in addition to an email, a call, a ringless voicemail, and that lumpy mail piece as well. So recap. Number 1, you're going to execute a reactivation campaign to clean up your database and also to shake any revenue loose. It's always going to be an email, a text message, a ringless voicemail, and a piece of direct mail. Number 2, you're going to execute a referral campaign, and you're going to give something fun, something unique, not just money off or a gift card or something like that. I want it to be something that might be Insta-worthy, where they're going to talk about you and your business. And number 3, you're going to execute a 5-star Google campaign. You're going to do it through email, text, ringless voicemail, and ideally some lumpy mail. Get out there, shake some revenue loose by way of referrals and reactivation, get some reviews, and you will continue to position yourself even in this slower time. Michael Tasner signing off. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I'll see you next week.